"Don't light them till I say," Orin whispered, fingers steady over the fuse as the palace clock struck midnight. He wore the courier sash. The city trusted couriers. They walked past blades and gates like ghosts. In his satchel lay a single sheet with a gold seal, a divorce writ signed by 10 judges, pressed with the law of the old river kings. He would hand it to the tyrant and end a marriage older than the towers, fireworks stacked beside him like spears. To the guards, they were for the Liberation Festival. To Orin they were charges. Bright powder. Quiet teeth. He crossed the glass bridge into the throne hall. The ceiling carried a storm trapped in crystal. Lightning crawled inside it like a pet snake. The tyrant sat alone under that slow sky, barehanded, no crown. People called him Regent Mailer. Children called him the Volf. Orin bowed and felt his ribs creak. Writs from the council. Mailer's eyes were pale, old ice. "Deliver, courier." Orin passed the divorce paper. It shook once in his grip, but not from fear. From the weight of the thing. The writ ended a sacred bond Mailer's marriage to the city bride, the unseen spirit that had kept the domes and shields and crops in bloom. The bond had also fed 1,000 gallows. That was the balance. That was the lie. The tyrant read. Lightning crawled above them. Then he whispered, "Thank you." Orin blinked. His plan had expected a snarl, a threat, a final order to cut his throat. Not gratitude. The word slid under his armor. "You wanted this?" Mailer folded the paper like a prayer. "I beg the city, but it is deaf to please. Only law can unbind law." "Your council has nerve?" Orin tasted metal. "Nerve? We have graves." The tyrant looked past him, toward the dark behind the pillars. "You brought fireworks." "They're for the people," Orin said. "For the door," Mailer replied, almost kind. "Light them when I tell you. Light all of them." The guards did not move. No horns, no rush of feet. The hall felt like a throat before a scream. Orin's heart pushed at his ribs. He had come to end the marriage, not to obey a tyrant. But he felt pulled, thread by thread, like the moment in a story when the hero learns the rule he never knew. He'd grown up on legends, the bride who rose from the river fog and married the first warden to keep the city safe from the dark beneath. The dark that ate names. Carefell had laws. Carefell had teeth. The first law, the bride keeps us. The second, the warden keeps the bride. Mailer pressed his thumb into the gold seal, blood bright against it. "There is one more law," he said. "When a warden is divorced, the city will take a new spouse by mark." Orin frowned. "Whose mark?" "You brought it," Mailer said softly. "Your sash. The courier's oath. The city loves oaths." The floor hummed. Orin looked down. Lines glowed between the tiles, thin as hair. They formed a ring beneath his boots. He smelled river water, though there was no river here. He took a step back. The glow followed. Midnight finished. The storm in the glass let a single bolt touch the throne, white and silent. Mailer did not flinch. He folded the writ again until it was a sharp square. "Light the door," he said. "Door to what?" Orin asked. "Under us," Mailer said. "To the place that eats names." "You've heard it called the Starve?" Orin had. In whispers. In songs the elders forbade. They said the bride made peace with the starve. They said a warden was the leash. But the gallows, the cold laws, the ration books, those had been the price. "And if I light them?" Orin asked. "The leash passes," Mailer said. "To the one in the ring." It felt like a spear of ice slid through Orin's spine and came out hot. "Me, you brought the end," Mailer said. "Ends always merry beginnings." Orin almost laughed. He wanted to run. He wanted to drop the fuses, rip the sash, leave the city to choke on its own secrets. But he thought of his sister lying in a clean square grave with a number, not a name. He thought of the day the guards cut his mother's hair to the scalp for speaking against tariffs. He thought of the people outside with empty bowls, and of small hands waiting for a sunrise that meant nothing. He took the first fuse. He lit it. The roar was a dragon crouched in the dark. Fire washed across the ring lines. The glow flared. From beneath something answered. It wasn't a sound. It was a hunger pressed into a shape. The air bent. Orin grit his teeth. If I become warden, I will change the laws. Mailer smiled, small and sad. That is what I said too. The second fuse went, then the third, then all, a crown of flame around the throne. Smoke wrote fast letters in the air. The words weren't in any tongue Orin knew, but he felt their meaning. Oath, bone, hold, give. The ring snapped shut with a low click like a lock deciding. Heat tracked up Orin's legs and wrote itself in his chest. He gasped. Something tried to touch his name. He shoved back. You will not devour me, he said to the hollow under the stones. The hollow paused, listened. Bring it up, Mailer said. Let it see the faces it forgot. The floor's center darkened. Stone unstitched. A hand, thin and long, reached through, a hand made of dust and night and old hunger. No claws, just want. It touched the air and pulled. Orin staggered at the weight of that want. He felt the city through it, alleys, wells, the wet rope at the docks, the cracked bell at East Gate. He felt the fear of 10,000 throats. He felt how the bride had wrapped herself around the starve, singing to it, giving it stories so it would sleep. The bride was quiet now. Where is she? Orin asked. His voice was small, child small. Mailer's eyes were wet. Gone. She left years ago. I held it alone. I did what I had to. I'm sorry for the graves. He stepped into the ring with Orin and put the folded writ in his hand. End me when it tries to take you. I will be its first kneel. That is my thanks. The starve's head rose a shape that was not a head, a shadow shaped by belief. It turned toward Orin and tasted his vow. He felt the new mark burn. He spoke through pain. I will feed you stories, not people. I will make a new law. The starve tilted, curious. The fireworks burned down to ash. Beyond the hall, bells began to ring as the city felt the change. Mailer took a breath like a man about to dive. Hold fast, Warda. From the open doors, a girl's voice carried in, clear, firm. Don't sign anything. Orin turned. On the threshold stood a child with river eyes and a veil dripping water that never hit the floor. The air around her smelled like rain and green leaves. The city bride had come back. Put down my divorce, she said, voice soft as thunder. And listen. Orin's grip tightened on the burning writ. The starve leaned toward the living voice. Mailer closed his eyes. The clock began to strike one. Choose. The bride whispered. Orin raised the paper to Tyrant. Want the next step of this vow. Follow to catch part 2 the instant it drops?